parcel arrive at BCB headquarters, which I'm just going to try and get into. Right. And I believe this should be an Audioline 340. Right. Okay, let's have a look at how it's arrived. Right, so we got power lead with a cigarette lighter adapter on it. That's going to have to come off. I can't connect it to microphone, where someone's obviously trimmed up this end because that should be straight. So a bit of a scratch or nick on the bottom there. Mic plug looks alright. No loose rattly bits in there. And the radio itself. It's in quite nice condition. So that's in quite nice condition. Got the CB 2781 stamp there. Tone, high and low, power, high and low. Volume and squelch. And a power lead coming out the back. It should be going into there, so someone didn't have a plug. I need to look up online, because what they may have done is taken one of the, yeah, I don't think this one has PA on it. No, it doesn't. So that sticker may have been covering a hole, and they've just used that to feed the power lead out, because they probably didn't have one of these plugs, or they may have blown the protection diode. Well, evidently this radio is not supposed to have any channel display, any TX or any sound. So we need to fire the thing up, get the covers off, get inside and do some basic testing. But before we fire it up, the first thing we're going to do is check the protection diode to make sure that it's not all split and cracked. So first thing I'm going to do is desolder this cigarette lighter adapter. This looks like a fairly new power lead, so I'm not going to cut it. I'll desolder the terminals inside, and then obviously I can connect them to the power pack, because I'm not running them off this extension lead, because I want to look inside first before we even power it up and see what's been going on in there. So let's get this desoldered so we can connect some power, and then we'll take the lids off and we'll have a look inside before we fire it up. I'll put a bit of protection around here because the chrome on this radio is really nice. Okay, so I've got the covers off now. I've checked the diode's fine. I'm just having a quick look round again before turning the power on, looking at all the pins, the tracks, anything shorted, lifted pads. And what I have found is, hang on, let me find it, is between here and here, which shouldn't be joined, there's a big lump of solder been dropped by someone who's been soldering inside here. And it's shorting out that pin and that pin. Now that's to do with the potentially the channel display or the channel selector. So I'll try and get a zoomed close-up picture before I remove it, but we've definitely got to take that out. Well, we've also got a completely dry joint on the leg of a component here. Again, I'll zoom in and try and get you a picture of that as well. So that's a component not making contact either. Right, there does appear to be lots of dry joints on here. I've just done another one here, and there's another one just next door here, same as before. So let me just touch those up. So that's 4 things so far. Right, so the extension wires that someone had put on there, I've just snipped them very close to the coils. I don't want to put any heat on these coils because obviously these are quite delicate. If I put too much heat down there, then you risk of melting all the solder on the top of these coils. I'm hoping they're still okay because whoever soldered them on there flooded them with heat. But okay, so right, I'm going to connect the power lead up and we'll see about firing this thing up, see what it looks like. Right, so switched it on. There is no LED display, and if I'm gonna rule the mic out, so we'll connect up a flying lead to the common, which is this pin here, and then we'll just do a bit of jiggery pokery here. Not one of the pins is giving any deflection or movement on the meter, so there is no transmit whatsoever, and the TX light isn't coming on, so there's no power getting to the TX light either. So first thing we're going to do is check the crystal, see if the crystal is oscillating. Okay, so I'm probing on the 10.24 oscillator crystal now, and that's the trace, so the crystal is not oscillating. So let's just check we've got power to the VCO. 2 seconds. Radios are equipped with the TC9119P VCO chip, and if I probe on pin 1, that should be the positive supply, so you can see the voltage there. And we've got nothing, so there's no power going to the VCO. Interesting. Okay, so no power to the VCO. Oh, hang on. Right, nothing there. Right, so we've got no power getting to the VCO and the crystal's not oscillating, so I need to go and print off a circuit diagram, find out where the voltage regulator is on here, and we need to have a look at that because it may well be that that is not giving any voltage from the supply. Printed an A3 circuit diagram, but this PLL 8.8 voltage in here covers all of this circuit all the way along here. And within here there's your crystal, which we've got no power to, that's not oscillating, and there's pin 1 of the PLL, which has also got no voltage, and it's all stemming off this line of voltage here, which we've completely got missing. So that's what I'm going to try and follow now. Right, we'll scrub that. I've gone and printed another bit off the circuit diagram. I can't read a circuit diagram today. Right, TR16 is not the voltage regulator, actually TR19 is. So I'm going to get after that now, and as you can see from the diagram I've put up on the screen, the 13.8 volt, 8.8, the TX, the CB voltage, the receive voltage and the PLL voltage are all coming out of this circuit here. You've got the voltage regulator and the TX switch, and I've got some voltages here to have a look at. And there's the TX LED, which obviously would give power if it was working. So let's go back down here and have a look, because you can see it says PLL voltage here, which is coming out of here, and we haven't got any PLL voltage. So TR19 and 18 is where we need to be. So anyway, we're getting there. I've not done one of these before, so as you can tell I'm finding my way, but we've identified the fault. Just need to find out what's causing it. Okay, so again we'll check the voltage on the regulator TR19. So we've got 0.2, 13.68, nothing. We should have 9.6, 12.5 and 8.8, so I'll desolder that component. We'll double check that. Right, well I took the regulator out and tested it, and that's perfectly okay. So looking at the component itself, I wanted to see if there's anything else that can pull the voltage down, and it's got an electrolytic on the base of the regulator. Now this is a 220 microfarad, which is C102. So I've just disconnected it. We're going to put it in the component tester and test it. So a capacitor is coming up as a resistor. Let me just put my leads on just to make sure we've definitely got that on, but if that is the case, that's faulty. Okay, so there it is on the tester. And it's coming up with a resistor, so that capacitor's dead. So let me see if I've got one of those and we'll change it out. Right, so after having changed C102, if we now look at the voltage regulator again, check it. We've got 9.47, 12.84 and 8.81, exactly what we should have. If you come down and look at the front of the radio, the display is now working. Also, if I key the microphone, we're doing 3 watts. If I now go and plug the extension speaker in, which I've just lost, which is here, which goes into here, we have sound. So I'm going to do a bit of an alignment on this and check it, but yeah, C102 was the fault, and it was knocking out the power to the voltage regulator. And as per the diagram that I showed you earlier, that voltage regulator puts all the voltage out around the whole CB, and it wasn't present, it was all missing. Right, I think you can see the watt meter there, so let's have a look and see what we can get out of this. We're currently doing 3 watts. I've turned the soldering on and off. Hang on while I warm it up, because we've got the last 2 coils to do. Okay. So this shifts it. Yep, here we go. Here we go. Right, channel 1, just over 4 watts. Channel 40, just under 4 watts. But you can't complain at that. Let's go back to 20 again. Okay, right, run through these again. Got a bit more there. Okay. Another tool. Okay. Channel 1. Channel 40. Yep, that's evened it out. Right, lovely. Seal up these coils again. Let's get that wax back up on the top there. Right, that's all locked up. Right, that's good. Let's get this speaker and things connected. Right, I just want to check whether this thing's on frequency. Unfortunately, there are no crystal trimmers on these, so whatever frequency you get, that's what you have to live with unless you change the crystal. So channel 1 should be 27.60125, 27.60181, that's not bad, and 27.99125 I believe. 27.99184, so yeah, that's not too bad at all. I'll say the crystals are not adjustable on these. Yeah, so that's good enough. Right, low power. Right, these have a 0.4 watt low power button on them, so we'll just see what we're doing. So that's a tiny bit low, and I believe it's this one here. Yes, it is. So that's set at 0.4. Let's just go back to high power. Lovely. Still banging up there nicely. And that was at 3 watts when we started. So that's a bit better. Okay. Let's see if squelch is working alright, because the thing is, because it all went off, I might not necessarily have to adjust these. Let's put the extension speaker back in. Right, that squelch pot's dirty. Let me see if I can get some switch cleaner in it. Right, well, we've got a problem with the mic now. 1 2 1 2 1 2, no mod. Wiggle this about, no. Wiggle the other mic about, and then the mod comes in. So there's a dodgy connection somewhere on the lead. I don't know whether it's here or here. 1 2 1 1. Hello, it's gone again. You can hear it's gone. Back. This mic's had a hard life. As you can see here, it should have a straight bit coming out like that and going into here. So someone's already chopped this down here and redone the connections here. I'm cutting it there. When you look here, it's all crimped and knackered, and when I'm wobbling it, it's in there. So I'm not sure whether there's a break in there or not. But we'll do a brand new set of connections at this point here, which will still give it enough time to have a little bit to go into the mic, and hopefully with some new connections it might work. But I'm running out of mic lead on this thing. I mean, obviously someone's already been chopping it about, so we'll do what we can do. Right, I want to check this mic wiring before I put it in, to check whether it's actually wired up correctly and what each one does. So what you do is, on my meter, if my probes touch together it beeps, so it's a continuity test. So clip your negative lead to the braid or the common, then take your positive lead and put it, normally the black is receive. Now if the black is receive, it will beep constantly, which it does, right? And the other way of testing that's receive is if I now press in the mic pin to go to transmit, the receive should cut out, which it does, and then it's back when I release it. So the black lead is receive, so RX is black. Right, now normally red is transmit, but not on this one. Let's try the white. Right, so the white is making no noise at this point. When I press the mic key in, it beeps, so that means the white wire is transmit. These ain't harder to write on here. Which makes the audio red, because that's the only other wire left, and obviously we've got the common, which is the braid, and that's how you need to solder it up. So let me quickly solder them pins on, and then we're trying the microphone again, and hopefully we've got rid of that dodgy connection. Right, so I've been sitting here chasing the microphone. I completely redid the connection at this end. Actually no, that's not the bit I took off. I don't know where that went. Anyway, I've taken that off and redone that connection. That connection is now perfect and good. And then this, the curly lead, went straight inside the mic. So I took off that length there, desoldered all the wires inside, redone them. I've replaced the blue wire that was in there with a brown wire, and we've still got a dodgy connection on the microphone. However, like always, if you press this microphone in, one, two, 1, 2, so it's working. Oh, I bet it's going to work now. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's completely working now. Would you credit it? Well, I found the problem. It's the actual mic switch. I don't know if I can zoom in on this. The red contact here on the actual switch is dodgy. I think that's made it disappear now. 1, 2, 1, 2. No. Oh, I was moving it round earlier and it wasn't working at all. So maybe I've triggered it back, I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to have to try and find, if I've got an old mic, this cartridge here, which I can remove and show you. That's the bit that's faulty. When you press it in, although it's working perfectly now, that red contact there is faulty. It moves around really loose. Although at the moment it seems to be working, but I'm going to change it out. I'll see if I can find a new mic switch. I've probably got a broken one somewhere. I'll have to test it out. We'll resolder it in and then the mic should be working. 2036 United Kingdom, cool? After tracing the fault with this mic to this wobbly broken pin on this switch, I probably can take that apart and have a look at it, but the easiest thing to do is fit a replacement one. I had another microphone here where the speaker inside's gone OC, so the mic's no good at the moment, so I've dropped that one out of there and I'm going to fit that in there, and then at least it'll get this radio up and running. So I'll just quickly desolder these wires, put them back on again. It's got similar dimensions, slightly more pointed thing here, but that shouldn't matter. At the end of the day you only push it in and out, so it should work. So right, I've got the soldering iron on. I'll quickly solder that on and then I'll flick the camera back on. So I've got the new switch in. It returns nicely, got a nice action to it. So let me get this mic back together and we'll test it out and see what the modulation sounds like. Well, as you know from the earlier fault finding, I changed this 220 microfarad capacitor here, and that I traced as the fault because next door to it here is the voltage regulator, which had no voltage on it. So I was looking for a component that could drag it down, and in the circuit right next door was this, so I've put this capacitor in. Well, I watched a video yesterday which I got sent on this radio, and evidently that is a common fault. But this capacitor down here, evidently these two both go open circuit and are the cause of a lot of problems. So while I've got that type of capacitor and I'm in the radio, I'm going to change this one as well. Someone's been in and changed that one at some point in the past, so that's been previously worked on as well, but I'm going to replace that out as well. So once this is done, that was the one that was the fault. This one we'll get out and test and see whether it's on its way out, but I'm definitely replacing that now. Okay, so let's give this thing a go. It should be 220 microfarads. So we've got 234. So 10% of 220. So yeah, it's still okay, but we'll replace it anyway. At least you're sort of away from the tunnel as well.
I'll be coming back before the traffic as well, so that's handy.
Oh, that's good, mate. Yes, I can't make its mind up over here at the moment. It's come over all dark again now and raining again.
Yeah, we've had a shower.
Oh, hang on, Dave, I've got to go, mate. Hold on.